President Biden says nuclear Armageddon risk is the highest since the '62 crisis. President Joe Biden is declaring that the risk of nuclear Armageddon is at the highest level since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, as Russian officials speak of using tactical nuclear weapons after suffering massive setbacks in the 8-month invasion of Ukraine. Speaking at a Democratic fundraiser, President Biden said on Thursday night that Russian President Vladimir Putin is, quote, a guy I know fairly well, and the Russian leader is, quote, not joking when he talks about the use of tactical nuclear weapons or biological or chemical weapons, Biden added. Quote, we have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. He suggested the threat from Putin is real, quote, because his military is, you might say, significantly underperforming. U.S. officials for months have warned of the prospect that Russia could use weapons of mass destruction in Ukraine as it has faced strategic setbacks on the battlefield, though President Biden's remarks marked the starkest warnings yet by the U.S. government about the nuclear stakes. U.S. warships with South Korea and Japan trained to shoot down North Korean missiles. United States warships from the USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group teamed up with South Korean and Japanese destroyers to practice shooting down missiles in the Sea of Japan on Thursday, a show of force following multiple launches from North Korea this week. Quote, the exercises also demonstrate the deep strength of our trilateral relationship with Japan and the Republic of Korea, which is resolute against those who challenge regional stability, Pentagon Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder said during a press briefing on Thursday. The guided missile cruiser USS Chancellorsville and guided missile destroyer USS Benfold joined one South Korean vessel and 2 Japanese destroyers in the Sea of Japan for the exercise, according to the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. Tropical storm Julia forms off of Colombia, expected to become a hurricane. Tropical storm Julia, the 10th named storm of the season, formed Friday morning off the coast of Colombia and is expected to strengthen into a hurricane sometime this weekend, authorities have said. At around 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, Julia was about 110 miles west of South America's northernmost point in the Guajara Peninsula in Colombia. It had maximum sustained winds of around 40 miles per hour and tropical storm force winds extending outward up to 80 miles from the storm's center. The system was moving west at 18 miles per hour, and that general motion was expected to continue through Sunday, the NHC said. Nika Shakarami's mother says her daughter was murdered during the Iranian protest. The mother of a teenage girl who died during protest in Iran has accused authorities of murdering her daughter. In a video sent to U.S.-funded Radio Farda, Nasrin Sakarami said she had seen injuries on her daughter's body which contradict an official statement. Authorities say Nika Shakarami, 16, appears to have been thrown from a building, possibly by workmen. Meanwhile, an official forensic report has said a woman whose death sparked the protest died from ill health. The family of Masha Amini, a 22-year-old Iranian Kurd, say she died as a result of being beaten by the morality police. She was detained back on the 13th of September in Tehran for allegedly breaking the strict law requiring women to cover their hair with a hijab or headscarf. The police denied that she was mistreated and have said that she died suffering a heart attack. Italy's far after a French minister suggested rights may be at risk under the incoming government. European Affairs Minister Lawrence Boone told the Repubblica Daily that Paris would, quote, pay close attention to the respect for values and the rule of law once the new government is sworn in. Quote, the EU has already demonstrated its vigilance toward other countries, such as Hungary and Poland, Boone added in the interview published on Friday, citing the 2 Eurosceptic governments that have clashed with Brussels over civil rights. Maloney said the comments appeared to be a, quote, an unacceptable threat of interference against a sovereign member state of the European Union. Quote, I trust that the French government will immediately deny the words, Maloney said, adding she hoped the left-wing Daily had in fact misrepresented Boone's meaning.